Good morning, students. Our new class has started, and it is our science subject. And let us start chapter 1 from science. So, name of the chapter is our environment. Our environment. So, our environment means what? Whatever condition is present around us, including living things, non-living things, plants, animals, air, water, sunlight, etc. All these make our environment. Geographical place, geographical conditions. So the environment includes all factors around us and which are needed for our life. So let's go ahead. We see a variety of plants and animals around us. They may be similar or different depending upon geographical and climatic conditions. So बहुत सारे plants और animals है और they may be similar, है ना, animals में भी similar, plants में भी similar depending upon geographical and climatic conditions. तो geographical condition मतलब अलग अलग जगह पर अलग अलग plants animals हो सकता है. Climatic conditions वेदर क्लाइमेट के ऊपर भी निर्भर होता है कैसे प्लांट्स और एनिमल्स, है ना, दिखाई पड़ेगा. सो लिविंग ऑब्जेक्ट्स डू नॉट लिव इन आइसोलेशन. लिविंग ऑब्जेक्ट्स डू नॉट लिव इन आइसोलेशन. लिविंग ऑब्जेक्ट्स एंड लिविंग थिंग्स कैनॉट लिव अलोन, है ना, अकेला नहीं रह सकता है. दे इंटरेक्ट विद वन अनदर. एक उसको साथी चाहिए. इंटरेक्शन की मतलब वार्तालाप होने के लिए दूसरा कोई और चाहिए. दे इंटरेक्ट विद वन अनदर एंड ऑल्सो विद द नॉन लिविंग सराउंडिंग्स इन विच दे लिव, है ना. तो हमें साथ हमें मदद चाहिए लिविंग थिंग्स का भी और नॉन लिविंग थिंग्स का भी. हाँ, तभी हम जिंदा रह सकते हैं. दे इंटरेक्ट विद वन अनदर एंड ऑल्सो विद द नॉन लिविंग सराउंडिंग्स इन विच दे लिव. As a result, both plants and animals get adapted to their surroundings. So living things यानी plants and animals get adapted to the surroundings. हाँ, जो जगह पर जो चीज़ है उसी के लायक हमें बनना पड़ता है, तभी उस जगह पर हम सब रह पाएंगे. ठीक है. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एडाप्टेशन, है ना. एडाप्टेशन मीन्स व्हाट? गेटिंग adjusted to any particular environment. To get adjustment with any particular environment, that is called adaptation. Adaptation is very necessary, otherwise we cannot survive. Suppose you are to sent to desert area, you may be sent to mountainous area. There you shall have to adapt yourself, otherwise you cannot remain alive. We find there are two types of objects surrounding us. Those are plants and animals. So two types of objects around us, plants and animals. No, there are we find there are two types of objects in our surroundings, plants and animals, including human beings, form the living components. They are also called the biotic components. और other part क्या है? The air, water, soil, light, temperature, etc. are the non-living components and are also called the abiotic components of the environment. Okay, both biotic, that is living components, and abiotic non-living components taken together constitute our environment. तो हमारा environment बनाता है. environment में क्या है? दोनों ही components है, living components and non-living components. So living components are plants and animals, microorganisms, etc. So they are called biotic components. And non-living components like air, water, soil, temperature, and light, these are all non-living components of the environment. Both are needed, and both are we are related to each other. Biotic as well as abiotic components are related to each other. एक दूसरे को मददगार साबित होती है, तभी हम सब जिंदा हैं. So let us read about the biotic components of the environment. Biotic means what? Those which have life. Those which have life. So these plants are biotic components. Animals are, birds are biotic components. Whatever living things, those are biotic components. Living organisms, that is plants and animals, including humans, form the biotic components. Let us try to understand the different components one by one. So biotic components. uh, what are biotic components? So examples of biotic components are plants. Plants are living things, so they are biotic components. Then animals are also living things, they have got life, so they are also biotic component. And microorganisms, these are also living things, so these are also biotic components. So there are three types of biotic components. So let us first of all try to know about the first type of biotic component, that is plants. Plants are also known as producers. क्यों बोलो तो? Because plants can prepare their own food. ठीक है. तो जो अपने कुछ बना पाएगा उसको हम प्रोड्यूसर कहेंगे, बनाने वाला. सो प्लांट्स खाना बनाता है, खाना बनाने वाला है, इसलिए प्लांट्स को प्रोड्यूसर्स भी कहा जाता है. और एनिमल्स को क्या कहा जाता है? देखो, कंज्यूमर्स. कंज्यूमर्स क्यों? एनिमल्स कैन नॉट प्रिपेयर देयर ओन फूड. हाँ, दे कंज्यूम द फूड प्रिपेयर बाय द प्लांट्स. प्लांट्स का जो बनाया हुआ खाना है उसी को हम सब खपत करते हैं. So we are consumers, ठीक है, animals are consumers. So we all know that plants like other organisms need food. All green plants have coloring matter called the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll which is present in the leaves absorb energy of the sunlight. This energy is used to prepare food. So plants can prepare their own food, and that process of preparation of food is called photosynthesis. So what are the raw materials for photosynthesis? Photosynthesis के लिए क्या क्या चाहिए और क्या क्या condition होने से plants खाना बना पाएगा? तो ये देखो, द क्लोरोफिल विच इज प्रेजेंट इन लीव्स एब्जॉर्ब एनर्जी ऑफ द सनलाइट. क्लोरोफिल होना जरूरी है, पत्ता में क्लोरोफिल ना. लीव्स आर ग्रीन इन कलर, व्हाई ना? बिकॉज ऑफ द प्रेजेंस ऑफ क्लोरोफिल पिगमेंट्स, है ना, ग्रीन कलर पिगमेंट्स. सो दोज ग्रीन कलर पिगमेंट्स दे एब्जॉर्ब द सनलाइट. खाना बनाने के लिए हीट चाहिए, तो सोलर सन का जो हीट है, सनलाइट का जो हीट है, उसी को एब्जॉर्ब करता है कौन? क्लोरोफिल पिगमेंट्स. सो द क्लोरोफिल पिगमेंट्स विच इज प्रेजेंट इन लीव्स एब्जॉर्ब द एनर्जी ऑफ द सनलाइट. दिस एनर्जी इज यूज्ड टू प्रिपेयर फूड. For this, plant use carbon dioxide and from the atmosphere and water and minerals from the soil. तो फोटोसिंथेसिस के लिए तो क्या चाहिए? तो कुछ तो सामान चाहिए, रॉ मटेरियल्स चाहिए. तो रॉ मटेरियल्स है कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस एंड वाटर. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस इज ऑब्टेन फ्रॉम एयर और एटमॉस्फेयर, एंड वाटर एंड मिनरल्स ऑब्टेन फ्रॉम द सॉइल. मिट्टी में पानी है, उसी पानी को जड़ के जरिए खींचता है और फोटोसिंथेसिस चलाता है. दिस प्रोसेस of preparing food by plants is called photosynthesis. This process of preparing food by plants is called photosynthesis. The following equation represents the process of photosynthesis. Equation के रूप में chemical reaction होता है, chemical change होता है. क्यों? नया चीज बनेगा, खाना बनेगा, तो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड लेगा और वाटर. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड वाटर, दीज आर द रॉ मटेरियल्स, एंड कंडीशंस नीडेड इज सनलाइट एंड क्लोरोफिल पिगमेंट. ठीक है, क्लोरोफिल पिगमेंट एक्ट्स लाइक ए कुक एंड सनलाइट इज द हीट. ओके, बर्नर या चूल्हा का काम करता है. सो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड वाटर रिएक्ट्स इन प्रेजेंस ऑफ सनलाइट एंड क्लोरोफिल पिगमेंट्स टू प्रोड्यूस ग्लूकोज एंड ऑक्सीजन गैस. क्या क्या खाना बनता है? देखो, ग्लूकोज एंड ऑक्सीजन गैस. ग्लूकोज खाने के लिए है, एनर्जी. ग्लूकोज ऑक्सीजन की एनर्जी गिविंग फूड है, और ऑक्सीजन हमारे लिए ब्रीदिंग के लिए ऑक्सीजन हवा में दे देता है. ओके, so this is the equation for photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process of preparing food by green plants. So these are the raw materials. Carbon dioxide and water are the raw materials. Necessary condition is sunlight and chlorophyll pigment होना चाहिए, तभी बनेगा क्या? खाना. That is glucose plus oxygen gas. प्लस ऑक्सीजन गैस, दोनों चीज देता है. The green plants which prepare their own food, that is glucose, are called producers or autotrophs. Autotrophs, auto means self and troph means food. जो अपने खाना अपने बना पाता है उसको autotroph कहते हैं या producers भी कहते हैं. So now let us come to animals or consumers. Animals cannot prepare their own food, है ना. हम सब अपना खाना नहीं बना पाते हैं, हम सब तो प्लांट्स, पेड़ पौधा खा के ही जिंदा रहते हैं. So they have to depend on plants for their food. They are called consumers or heterotrophs. Hetero means other and troph means, that is, those animals which depend on others for food are called the heterotrophs or consumers. So देखो, cow, a cow feed on grass, the boy is eating banana. So we are all eating plants or plant products. All animals feed on green plants. All animals feed on green plants either directly or indirectly. Animal, देखो, we take green plants in terms of vegetables. Okay, but there are certain animals which do not directly eat the green plants, and they eat the meat. Suppose a tiger eat the goat, and goat eats the green plants. So tiger is getting the green plants indirectly, but goat is getting the green plants directly. We may get the green plants directly. So all animals feed on green plants either directly or indirectly. Like animals like cattle and goat directly eat plants, like grass and fodder. Fodder means um, uh, leaves of plants and etc. Food for animals is called fodder. Like grass and fodder, they are called the primary consumers or herbivores. So those animals which live on eating plants are called the herbivores. Okay, or primary consumers. Animals like tiger and lion feed on these herbivores. और tiger and lion क्या करेगा? यही सब क्या, goat, cattle, deer, ये सब को खा के जिंदा रहता है. So animals like tiger, lion feed on these herbivores. In other words, they hunt and eat cattle, goat, etc. Such consumers which feed on plants indirectly are called the secondary consumers or carnivores. ठीक है. So carnivores are the carnivores are animals which eat any flesh of animals, है ना, जो जानवर खाने वाला है, एनिमल्स खाने वाला है. ठीक है, यानी प्राइमरी कंज्यूमर्स को खाकर जो जिंदा रहता है उसको सेकेंडरी कंज्यूमर्स कहता है. जैसे कि डियर, डियर ईट प्लांट्स. So deer eats plant directly. So deer is primary consumer, but a tiger which kills deer and take its food, so it is getting plants. A tiger is getting plants indirectly, है ना, deer के माध्यम से उसको plants का खाना पहुंच रहा है. So there are some animals which feed on both producers as well as primary consumers. Just like we human beings, we eat the plants directly as well as we eat the primary consumers, like suppose goat, and we eat goat also. So goat has taken plants, so from the body of the goat we are getting the plant products. So that is, we take both, and the producers as well as the primary consumers, they are called omnivores. So omnivores are only animals which eat both the plants as well as animals. Animals like bear, pig, etc. are omnivores. These are all the animals like bear, pigs, etc. are omnivores. We human beings are also omnivores. Okay. Now let us come to microorganisms. Microorganisms, these are microorganisms are very small living things which cannot be seen by an naked eyes or unaided eye. खाली आंखों में नहीं देखा जा सकता, इतना छोटा छोटा ये सब प्राणी है. So these are called decomposers. Why? Now they live on eating dead and decaying bodies of plants and animals. मुर्दा सड़ा गला चीज खा के जिंदा रहता है. In addition to producers and consumers, there are some organisms which derive their food from dead and decaying plants and animals. Dead and decaying, जो मर गया है ऐसा plant ऐसा animal से वो सब क्या खाना निकाल लेता है. They are called decomposers. Decomposers break down the dead and decaying plants and animals into minerals. तो डिकम्पोजर्स कोई चीज मर जाता तो क्या उस पर डिकम्पोजर जाकर बैठ जाता है, उससे खाना निकालता है, खाना खा जाता है और बाकी चीज को मिट्टी में मिला देता है. यानी डेड बॉडी तो मिनरल से ही बना हुआ, तो मिनरल्स बॉडी है ना, लिविंग थिंग्स से मिट्टी में चला जाता है. सो the nutrients get returned to the soil again. So decomposers break down the dead and decaying plants and animals into minerals. These minerals get mixed with the soil and are then again used by the plants. तो मिनरल्स प्लांट्स को कहाँ से मिला था? सॉइल से मिला था. तो जब प्लांट मर जाएगा, एनिमल मर जाएगा, तो फिर मिट्टी में चला जाएगा. सो दिस प्रोसेस is called the recycling of minerals. So it is also decomposers help in recycling of minerals. है ना, देखो plants prepare food. Our plants is plant living from the soil, so it is deriving things from the soil, and again when the plant or animal die they will get decomposed and again mixed into the soil. So decomposers help in recycling of minerals, है ना. Fungi bacteria are the organisms that help in decomposition. These are too small that they are so small that they cannot be seen with the naked eyes. They are called the microorganisms. So what are microorganisms? These are very small living things which cannot be seen by our naked eyes. Examples are virus, fungi, bacteria, virus, etc. Animals and birds like jackals, animals and birds like jackals, crows, vulture, kites consume dead bodies of animals. देखो ये सब बड़ा 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 प्राणी है, जानवर है. जैकल, क्रो, वल्चर, काइट्स, they consume the dead bodies of animals. This process helps in keeping the environment clean. They are called scavengers. So scavengers are animals which also live on eating dead and decaying animals. These are scavengers are animals. These are the scavengers are bigger animals which live on eating dead bodies of dead bodies. Animals and birds like jackals, crows, vultures, etc. consume the dead bodies of animals. So जो dead bodies को खाता है उसको क्या कहते हैं? Scavengers. ठीक है. Bigger animals. Smaller animals होगा तो microorganisms हो जाए. Bigger animals like jackals, these are called scavengers. So scavengers also live on eating dead and decaying animals. Or decomposers, they live on eating dead and decaying plants and animals both. So this is all about today.